Alright, this is my video for the final presentation for C programming. I first want to talk about linked lists and pointers. A pointer is a type of variable that stores a memory address for another variable or other structure. A linked list is a type of data structure that utilizes pointers to hold self-referential structures, which also utilize pointers. Each node is creating using a structure. Each node is connected using pointers. A linked list has a head pointer that points to the start and a null pointer that ends it. Each node has a pointer that points to the next node in the list, and you have to allocate memory for each node dynamically with malloc as you do it. For quality code implementations, I wanted to talk about verification of inputs, so just to make sure that when someone enters something that you don't expect, it doesn't break your program, and least privilege principle to make sure things that are passed by reference don't get edited when you don't want them to. An example of easily modifiable code is using constants so that everything can be edited easily so you don't have to go searching. And then a couple other examples are using functions to modularize and adding comments to explain code. So I'm going to edit out X out of this PowerPoint now. So this is time for code. I wanted to look at some of my iteration. So first up in my iteration, this is a structure, has the name of it, has all the members for the name, or name, price, and percent, and then the pointer to the next structure to make it self-referential to be used in a linked list. And each of these makes up a node of a linked list. So then I will go down. I want to go look at where it's made. Let me find the right function. More. Here it is. Okay. So we ask the admin how many they want to set up. Validate that. Loop until that amount is reached, have the admin enter the name, the price, and the percent, validate all those inputs, and then we display the list to show the admin, and then we use this insert function to and put in all that information and set it to the head pointer of the new linked list. So yes, doing all of that, I utilize that shows pointers and linked lists in my iteration. And then for quality code, I have lots of functions to modularize and lots of comments to try to explain. So next I wanted to go through the test script. Mine works slightly differently, but I'll explain as I go. So I'll enter the correct pin. We'll do 3 organizations, vets, 20, yes, 10, yes. Do this, 40, yes, 5, yes, and then we'll do homeless, 30, yes, 20, yes. And then it prints the list for the admin to see what they entered, and then the fundraiser starts. So here we have this prints a list so the customer or the user can select what they want. We'll do vets first. Sell a shirt. We'll do black. And then it tells them the cost. And then for the credit card numbers, we'll do 1234 -A, 1234 -1234 -1234 . So that won't work. It's invalid. I'm going to do 1234 -1234. That won't work either. My program actually works slightly differently. It still validates letters for this part. I need to fix that. So this one will work as well, but also so will the regular 4-digit numbers, or 4 sets of numbers. So we'll do that. That'll work. And then if I press no for a receipt, it'll have me sell another shirt. And then so we'll sell another shirt, and this time I'll do a different valid credit card number. So that'll be valid as well. And then this time I'll say yes, I want a receipt, and it'll print the cost for that shirt. So that one's good. And then I have the reason it works like that is because I did the feature where I update those things. So that's how that works in the program. And then I'll talk more about this when I talk about my new feature. So then I'll enter the PIN again to get the, this shows the summary of everything that was sold today. and then it does print these to a file. It just I don't I was having trouble finding that, like where Xcode prints it, and I couldn't quite change it. So it does print to a file though. I don't know if I can find it right now, but it prints to a file. I just don't know where it is. So that does that. Um, so that's it for the the test script, and I'll talk more about a little bit of that later. So sorry, I'm kind of going fast. Try to keep it under 8 minutes. So next, I'm going to go over to my design document, and we'll look at this a little bit. So I have all the design. I already submitted this, so you've seen it. And then I chose for my new feature. I chose to do feature B, where you allow them to purchase more than one shirt at a time for multiple organizations. So kind of from this interpretation, I took it that this this feature wasn't supposed to be in the iteration, so that's kind of how I designed it to work with this as something new. So the way I did it was I had a do while loop to prompt them to select the organization, and do the same thing kind of that I had doing before, but if they don't want a receipt, it asks for a different organization and then saves, and then obviously does it all over again. And this allows them to select more than one organization per purchase and purchase more than one shirt. When they do want a receipt, it shows a receipt for all the purchases. So that's kind of the new feature I had. And then the most complex task, I had just added this for this presentation, was allowing the user to select different organizations each time. And that was, this is just kind of inputs and outputs for that. So that is definitely the most complex task here. And that's my algorithm for that. So that's my design of a new feature. And then the last thing I had to talk about was, I have a minute for this part, was my reflection. So I had a couple strengths that I thought I had for this project solution was the amount of modularity in my code. So I had lots of functions, super easy to use and ability to understand. That's kind of why I added comments and used lots of functions. Those were two of my strengths, were ease of use and modularity. A lot has actually improved for me since iteration 1. It's improved a lot. It's lots more in depth. I talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then if I was doing a 4th iteration, I could definitely improve on the efficiency of the code while also making sure I had all the features working. Some of the things still need improvements, so I would definitely improve those things like you saw in the test script. And then I think I'm most proud of how well I was able to organize the code. I utilize lots of functions, and this makes the code easy to understand. And then lastly, I had, one thing I have improved on since iteration 2, since I didn't get an A or a B, was the credit card verification, and also lots of other stuff from that has been improved as well. I think that's it. This is slightly over 8 minutes, but I think I got everything. So last thing I wanted to say is just thanks for a great semester, and I hope you have a great break. Thank you.